Hello and welcome to the Birth Uprising Podcast with me, Jade.
And me, Alex.
Hi.
Hey.
It has it been a while? I don't actually know.
Who knows?
I don't know.
We don't know what day it is at this point.
honestly.
We've had to check the date. There's been moves. There's been weddings.
If you can see this, look at all the space we've got for activity.
So many spaces.
So much space for activity. Oh my God, I've got so many pillows behind me. So yeah, it's been great. We're excited. We're excited to be here with you. If you can see us, great. If you can't, well, you're missing out.
Yeah, get yourself on YouTube.
What are you doing?
We have got loads of things coming into the store. If you missed our last episode, we were talking about all our lovely items that we are now selling at thebirthuprising.com. All of them excellent for birth and all of them very, very useful. We opted to make sure that we sell things that are useful and have longevity. They're not just something that you use and then never have to pick up again.
Absolutely.
And this week we are going to be talking about all the other things that you can do to prepare for birth, whether that's mental stuff or physical stuff.
We find a lot as birth workers, especially as the time goes on, that actually a lot of how your birth can go really can do with the prep that you do during birth.
Yeah.
Can our bodies do it without all that? Yes, they can.
They can in some circumstances,
but
in the right setting.
Not in, I would say, in today's current system
No.
and how things are actually is more and more important that we are preparing. Does this preparing mean you'll 100% get this beautiful, wonderful birth? Absolutely not. Their Mother Nature is at play, other people are at play, but they certainly can weigh the odds in your favour.
Yeah, it's all about increasing the chance of your birth going either as you want it to go or just simply be in a positive way, even if it wasn't exactly what you planned, because that is something that we have a lot, where because people have worked on their mindset and they know what their options are and they have worked on like feeling like they deserve to get their choices, they come to us and they can sometimes say, I got nothing that I originally wanted, but I'm so pleased with how my birth went and I feel really positive about it. And that should be the goal. The end goal is to feel positive about your birth and feel like you've smashed it, however you've done it.
Absolutely. Now, we have got some lists of stuff we want to speak to you about because we are so good at going off on a tangent and we don't want to kind of rabbit on too much. So we have made ourselves some lists so that we can talk properly about what we want to talk about.
Yeah, we really want to tick all the boxes here so that we don't end up tomorrow voice noting each other like,
oh, for fuck's sake,
we didn't talk about that thing that would have been really good for the podcast. So
I'm sure
we've got our list. We probably will.
There we are. So one of the first things we want to talk to you about, and we are seeing this be more and more important, is physical prep. So this is your body, obviously, getting your body ready for birth. Now, why is this so important? Because most of us spend all of our time sat the fuck down. Often not even sat down in like an optimal, mate. Most of us are sat, laid down, making our back into what is a bucket shape.
Bit of a hammock. And, it makes sense. The modern world means that we sit in cars for long journeys. Maybe we commute to an office. When we get there, we sit on an office chair all day. And, we've got so much admin that we sit and eat a sandwich at our desk rather than getting up and being active. Maybe we get back in the car or sit on a train and head all the way home, where we maybe sit on a dining chair to eat and then sit on the sofa for the evening. And if that's your life, no shade.
No, it's most people's lives.
Most people's life in the modern world. But this is why this physical prep is so important, because in the olden days, we would naturally be spending a lot more time upright, spending time squatting down to do things. And, mod cons have meant that we now don't need to spend our time doing things that don't feel much fun. They feel like hard work. But it does mean that we might have to actively go and do things that will prepare our body for birth.
So one of the first things we really wanted to talk to you about with regards to getting your body ready is moving it. It's exercise, essentially. And two of the things that we really think are great because they work with a lot of pelvic movements, and that's going to work to get baby into a good position. But one, Pilates. Number two, yoga. I think Pilates for me is the thing that it works better for that because it is a lot more strenuous. There's a bit more to it, I suppose.
I guess maybe yoga's a really great starting point if you've been completely inactive up until this point, which I think a lot of people, they start to pay attention to this stuff when it's relevant, which is ultimately another reason why we need this stuff, because it kind of up until there's a baby and a birth to prepare for, we maybe haven't thought about being active.
No, but it's about strengthening your core, your pelvic floor as well. And I think this is why I like Pilates so much, because Pilates doesn't just work with strengthening that pelvic floor. Actually, very much about letting go and letting your pelvic floor move out the way, because our pelvic floor, we do not need it to be rigid. We do not need it to be really tense. Our pelvic floor needs to be able to be loosey-goosey during birth as well as helping afterwards with keeping things inside. These things are so important during birth, and actually, because we are so sedentary in today's society, we are seeing more and more back-to-back labours. We are seeing more and more people have their waters breaking be their first sign of labour, and this certainly wasn't what it used to be, but we do
because
think this is positioning.
Their pelvis isn't as open as it would have been naturally, or like what was I going to say? It was something else to do with position. My mind's gone blank.
Oh no. It'll come back to you.
It will come back to me. But yes, we are seeing more and more people having issues that we think, maybe that could have... Oh, the other thing was pelvic floor.
Yeah.
So often people find out that they need to do pelvic floor exercises. And what that means to them is, I need to squeeze my pelvic floor very tight.
Yeah.
And then we see babies struggle to come through that pelvic floor.
Tension.
So kind of having it be all round is really useful. Another really great exercise is swimming, aquanatal classes, things like that. That can really help, because you are spending more time in that sort of on your front position rather than reclining back. So it can kind of counteract some of that
and
chilling that you might be doing.
Some of the
weight
when you're pregnant. Oh, it is glorious.
Having a little cool down as well. I know that I loved aquanatal through the summer when I was pregnant with my first.
The other thing as well that I wanted to mention with regards to exercise, if you exercise already, you don't have to stop. If you lift weights before getting pregnant, do not stop lifting those weights. You can carry on doing it. The key is, don't just start lifting weights when you get pregnant. If your body is used to it already, you can do it. Yes, there may have to be some things that you have to change slightly, but actually you can keep being as active. And the more active you are, the more likely you are that baby's going to be in a more optimal position, and you are more likely to have that vaginal birth if that is what you are after. The other thing that we wanted to mention, which I think is more and more important because of all the things we've just said, is chiropractic care, an osteopath. Many of us have misalignments in our muscles, in our joints, in absolutely everything, and this can often mean that baby can't turn if they want to turn. It can mean that you are more likely to have that back-to-back birth. It can mean that baby is more likely to get stuck somewhere because they aren't able to actually move down. And really, all it can take is one session with a chiropractor and osteopath, and they can really change that misalignment. And maybe it means you're more comfortable as well, because often you can actually feel these misalignments, and they show as uncomfortableness, pain, pressure in certain points of your body.
With all of these things, listening to your body is great. Maybe it's that you're weightlifting things that you were lifting before, and you start to notice it's less comfortable than it was, or you kind of feel like something twinges. Maybe you are going to a chiropractor when you experience some sort of pain in a hip or a persistent backache of some kind. But it's also worth saying that we don't need to have a problem before we go to see a chiropractor or an osteopath.
We wish everybody would go anyway.
It'd be great if people would just go routinely. I'm not for a lot of things routinely, but I think just at some point during your pregnancy, going to visit a chiropractor or osteopath, ideally, very close to birth one as well. It would be great to visit earlier so that you can get on top of any issues.
Someone that knows about pregnancy.
Yeah. But it's so important as well, if you are maybe approaching your due date, labour's coming soon, it would be great to visit one just to really give yourself a bit of a kick up the arse. To be like, look, labour's coming soon, this is what you need to do. Or actually, you're very well aligned, things seem like nice and loose, and
that's
actually
birth is going to... for your mental health,
the boost that would give you, knowing that everything is all set up and ready. Another one that's really affordable as well is just using your birth ball daily. Using your birth ball to chill and watch the telly, using your birth ball instead of a dining chair when you're at the table, or instead of an office chair even. Loads of people will take a birth ball to work. There are also things that you can get that you can make a normal chair a bit more like a birth ball. It's almost like the top of a birth ball that you sit on your chair.
Not as good, but they do a job if you can't get the birth ball in there.
Helps you to engage your core and kind of be a bit more upright. So things like that, being mindful of your movement and how you're relaxing. No one's saying that you should not relax during pregnancy, but many people will start to furiously bounce on a birth ball at the end of pregnancy, or find out that their baby is breech at 36 weeks and then start to do things when when it comes to their position. So if we can integrate this earlier on in pregnancy and just build it into a routine, we're less likely to have these things crop up that we then need, like, feel like we need to sort and feel anxious about.
100%. The other thing that we really wanted to touch on was nutrition. Okay, so Alex and I are gals that we love a takeaway, right?
Absolutely.
We love dirty food. We love it. Do we like healthy food as well? Yes, we do.
Luckily, I'm
yes,
not a fussy eater.
But we do like gross food. Now, I think in today's society, again, a lot of us are actually eating not optimally. I certainly don't. This isn't like I eat well and actually
No, it's not a judgment. It's you notice it when you're pregnant, I think, don't you? You kind of eat normal food, but actually normal food for the modern age is a lot of processed things, a lot of easy to grab things because we're so busy. A lot of very quick to cook things are not always the best for us if we don't like just put in that little bit of thinking, like, hang on a second, what am I getting at?
A lot of us don't eat enough iron or protein either, and if we're veggie or vegan, we definitely need to look at that. But that stuff is really important later on in pregnancy, and something that we do recommend that people eat is dates. Dates actually have some really solid evidence behind them that they're really good for you, especially when you are pregnant.
Absolutely. And thinking about like vitamins and minerals, it is really great to get this stuff from food sources rather than just taking like a pregnancy vitamin. If you are taking pregnancy vitamins, then ideally having those be ones that are bioavailable, like how they got it was a food source. I'm sure that's not how they speak about
I know
it.
what you mean.
But it is really great that it is easy for your body to take in. It's something that your body can actually make use of. Important as well to be thinking of that stuff more, because I saw a fact recently. I know a lot of you, maybe you're pregnant and you are having dental issues. Maybe you're getting cavities all of a sudden, or you need teeth taken out and that's never been a problem before. I saw a thing by a biological dentist recently that said that it takes on average a decade to get the vitamins and minerals back to replenish the ones that were taken from a baby. Now, I'm sorry.
They suck it
in
out
the last decade, we've had 3 children each, so we are fucked. But don't let that be you. So lots of like egg yolks, like organ meat, things like that, like, or however it is that you want to get these things in, paying attention to the things that are specifically good for your teeth, for your bones, it's going to make you feel better as well as actually helping your pregnancy.
Drinking as well.
Yeah.
So I'm bad for this. Like, I don't drink enough water. Actually, I do a lot more recently, but like hydration, it's really important that you have as much water as possible during pregnancy, during birth. Like it's really, we are a lot of our body
is water.
We are a watermelon. We are very, very full of water, and actually we use more water whilst pregnant. So we need to be drinking as much water as possible.
We've got a third more blood when we are pregnant. We have got amniotic fluid that we need to replenish. Ideally, we want to be adding stuff to our water to make it not just plain water, because we can flush ourselves out. Adding like salts, hydration sachets, things like that, like electrolytes. Just adding a bit of lemon, a bit of cucumber, like some fruit to a water, anything to make it more tasty, but also help it to have other stuff in it. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to help you to have a clear head and things like that. A lot of the time we really do feel like a pressure to just power through, we're pregnant, not sick, but actually, it makes sense that we would slow down a little bit. And that goes for being tired as well, like sleeping, resting.
And we know this is hard.
Really hard. It can be really uncomfortable to get comfortable when you are pregnant. So just resting even, we mentioned sitting on the birth ball and things like that. If you can be mindful of your position whilst you're resting, then it doesn't matter how much time you spend resting. Like ideally you would get yourself into a nice position and just relax, close your eyes for a little bit, being quiet. We maybe sometimes don't think about the fact that even just constant scrolling is tiring for our brains, even if we feel like we're chilling out. Watching the news regularly, going out to the shops, all of it can take a toll where you're just constantly seeing people, oh, hi, you all right? Yeah, no, not had the baby yet. All of these conversations, all of that can take it out of us. So stepping back and trying to just take rests where we can. Maybe that is sending someone else to do the shop. Maybe it is getting an online shop. Maybe it is putting your phone down for like set periods of an evening across the weekend, however it is you want to manage it. But do listen out for tiredness and follow your body's cues that it wants to switch off or slow down a little bit.
I do think as well, like, get yourself a pregnancy pillow.
Yes.
Sleeping can be so uncomfortable the more pregnant we get, obviously. And I think the bigger the pillow, the better. Like,
Absolutely.
if you can surround yourself with this pillow, really use it to get you comfortable, like, you are more likely to have better sleep that way. And actually, we know it's really hard towards the end of pregnancy. Sleep is hard to get. It really is. But even like you say, even if you're finding it hard to sleep, just resting, like don't push
just
through.
Being quiet. Yeah. If you know you've had a really busy day and then someone invites you to something, you think, oh, I don't really want to go, but maybe you shouldn't go.
Yeah.
Maybe that's okay that you don't go because you can't do it all. Like, maybe you are lying in bed and you can't sleep and you're thinking, well, I'll just get up and do that XYZ job. No. Like, give yourself permission to put an audiobook on and just lay there in the dark. You're still getting rest for your body, your poor muscles.
And something we want to touch on, because we don't really agree with it, is perineal massage. So this is something that a lot of the time gets brought up in the, like, you know, here's something like physical you
physical
can do.
prep.
No. Now, if you want to do it because it's something you're anxious about and you think it's going to help you mentally, then yeah, sure, do it. But actually, I like to think about it this way. You're stretching your vulva because you think it's going to help your vulva stretch during birth. But once that's stretched, that's not staying baggy.
No,
it's not staying like that. Famously, that is going to stretch back. And so it's not going to make a massive amount of any difference at all. There's some really interesting studies with regards to what it helps with. And there is some kind of evidence to say that it could help with not getting 3rd and 4th degree tears. But the people that are doing perineal massage, is it because they're also looking at other ways they're not tearing and that's why they're less likely to get these tears? It's not actually to do with the perineal massage. Actually, is it to do with the fact that they're also birthing upright? So it's really hard. There's not a lot to say you can do it. Now, if you want to do it, obviously
crack on,
do it. But if you're sitting there thinking, I haven't got time, I don't want to do it, it's uncomfortable, I don't like it, the chances that it's going to help are very, 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 very low.
And we say this because we receive constant messages or comments on things from people saying, I feel so bad, I haven't got round to perineal massage this
I feel
week.
like that's it for me now.
Yeah. Or I tried perineal massage last night, it hurt so much, now I think I'm not going to be good at labour. Like, if it is impacting your mental health to do it, then it is not useful, when really the evidence isn't all that strong that it actually works. See, if it was a case of do perineal massage, definitely have a fantastic birth, then I'd say it's worth prioritizing, but it simply isn't as clean cut as that.
A lot of the time it's more to do with other factors. Genetics, number one, how stretchy your skin is essentially and what you've got that is stretchy enough, how you birth.
Yeah.
What if
maybe you're having coach pushing, lying on your back, and you just don't have very scratchy skin? Of course, those people will have more tears than someone who has got very stretchy skin, is birthing their baby just by following their own body, and is upright at the time. These things, they are more likely. It's all about stacking the odds again. Nothing is guaranteeing anything. We just increase the odds of the thing that we want.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are kind of like our tips, the things that we
for physical
prep during birth. So moving, exercise, getting your body moving like it should. We shouldn't be sat around like we are, just gentle walking, etc. Going and seeing somebody to see how aligned your pelvis and everything is.
A chiropractor or an osteopath will give you great tips for how you can then move forward in your life to support your pelvis with how it is, or help with things that are an issue. So getting that done early, building in things like the movement, going for a walk on your lunch break, signing up to a pregnancy Pilates class, regularly going swimming, getting yourself a birth ball early on and starting to sit on it from the 2nd trimester, and not thinking, right, I've got a breech baby, it's 37 weeks and I think I'll labour soon, so I'll get a birth ball. It really, all of this stuff needs to be incorporated into your life from the moment you're pregnant.
Nutrition and hydration and lots of rest and sleep where you can. These are things that matter. These are things that physically are going to be much more helpful than buying some device that is going to potentially
Stretch your fanny.
fuck with your pelvic floor as well. Like the things that these things can do, we really, if you want to do pelvic floor massage, perineal massage,
Fucking
my
hell,
brain.
pelvic floor
I
massage.
know, Jesus Christ. If you want to do perineal massage, then use your fingers. You don't need a device. These things are just there to make money from you being worried about something, and it's utterly unnecessary. So yeah, that's us. That's what we think.
Yeah. So if you're pregnant, get on all of this stuff, and whether it ends up you having the birth of your dreams, who knows? But it is going to help to support your body, support you, so that hopefully you have a more comfortable pregnancy and as comfortable a birth as you can muster.
Yeah. Peace up.
Bye.